Today, we're tackling one of the biggest questions out there. What actually makes people work hard? We're going to look at everything: digital tricks, intense personalities, and some pretty surprising company strategies, all designed to unlock human potential. So let's start with an idea that feels very, very current. A lot of us use apps for, everything. But imagine if that app on your phone wasn't just a tool. What if it was your boss, constantly nudging you, guiding you, pushing you to work just a little bit harder, a little bit longer? And that really gets to the heart of it. Why is motivation such a tough puzzle for any business to solve? This quote from Russell Koff just nails it. Think about it. You can buy a machine, you can have money in the bank, but people, you can only rent their time and their talent. And unlike a machine, people have good days and bad days. Their productivity is all tied up in this incredibly unpredictable thing called motivation. So, how are companies trying to crack this code? Well, let's dive into a really fascinating and frankly pretty controversial case study. Uber. They've basically turned managing people into a science. So here's the unique challenge for Uber. Their drivers aren't employees, they're independent contractors. That means Uber can't just tell them when or where to work. No, they have to persuade them. And they do it by turning their driver app into this super sophisticated management tool, all built on the principles of behavioral science. And the app has this whole playbook of psychological tricks. It makes work feel like a video game, with digital badges and rewards. It taps into that feeling we all have of not wanting to quit right before you hit a goal, so it sends an alert when you're just a few dollars away. And then there's this feature called Forward Dispatch, which creates this constant sense of momentum, making it really hard to find a good moment to just stop. And this is where the ethical alarm bells really start to go off. As law professor Ryan Callow points out, this isn't just about making a game more fun. We're talking about a system designed to exploit our own psychological wiring to directly influence how much money we make. It really blurs the line between a helpful hint and some kind of subtle coercion. So it all boils down to this, right? When an algorithm knows your personal buttons to push to keep you on the road, are you actually being motivated, or are you just being manipulated? It's a huge question at the very core of the entire gig economy. Okay, so that's the tech-driven approach to managing thousands of people. But what happens when the motivation problem isn't about the crowd, but about one single superstar employee? Let's switch gears and look at a company called Patagonic Sports. They're facing a totally different kind of challenge. Every company says they want an A player, right? Well, Damien is the poster child. He's this brilliant, absolutely tireless developer. We're talking 15-hour days, constantly pumping out award-winning products that are just fueling massive growth. He's a one-man innovation engine. But, and this is a big but, his incredible individual success is creating a huge mess. I mean, sure, the company's posting record sales, but his team? They're completely falling apart. They're pulling 70-hour weeks just to keep up. They feel like he just steals their ideas, and team morale is so bad that his own deputy says the team is about to explode. The star player is basically burning out the entire solar system around him. Damien's own words kind of say it all, don't they? He calls himself Type AAA. His drive is all internal. It's all about his own ambition. And that's exactly what makes him so successful. But it's also what makes him an absolutely terrible team player. He's wired for the win, but only his own. And this puts the CEO in a really tough spot. The spreadsheets look fantastic, the star is delivering results. From a purely financial view, everything's great. But the human toll is just piling up, and key employees are getting ready to quit. It forces this really uncomfortable question. If the bottom line looks good, is there actually a problem here? Okay, so we've seen Uber's digital manipulation and Damien's kind of toxic solo act. Both feel pretty flawed, right? So what if there's a better way? What if we've been thinking about this all wrong? What if we stop seeing employees as a cost to be squeezed and start seeing them as an investment to be grown? For this, let's look at a tale of two giant retailers, Costco and Sam's Club. Now, Sam's Club follows that classic low-wage playbook. Costco, on the other hand, pays its people a lot more. And the results? They're staggering. Costco's employee turnover is less than half of Sam's Club's. And here's the real kicker. Their operating profit per employee is nearly double. So the big takeaway here is pretty counterintuitive, but it's crystal clear. Paying people more isn't just about being nice, it's about being smart. Higher wages create a stable, experienced workforce, which saves a fortune in hiring and training costs. A happy team isn't a cost center, It's a profit engine. But hold on, it's not just about throwing more money at everyone. The truly smart approach is to identify your A positions. These are the specific jobs, and they aren't always the senior ones, that have the biggest possible impact on your success. The idea is to be surgical. Invest a disproportionate amount of your resources into getting and keeping absolute superstars in those key roles. And if you're gonna start investing in people this way, it means you also have to totally rethink how you measure their performance in the first place. You know that annual performance review that we all kind of dread? Well, it turns out it's not some timeless law of business. It actually started in the military as a tool to weed out poor soldiers. Then in the 50s, it became about developing people. Then in the 80s, it was all about forced ranking. Reward the top, fire the bottom. And right now, we are in the middle of another huge revolution. The big change happening today is this fundamental shift away from a backward-looking, once-a-year judgment day. The new goal is all about forward-looking, continuous development. It's about being a coach, not just a referee. And this isn't just some passing trend. It's happening for really solid business reasons. In today's market, you can't afford to lose good people, so developing them is key. And in a world where everything is about teamwork, grading individuals just doesn't make sense anymore. Plus, let's be honest, almost everybody, managers and employees, hated the old system. So at the end of the day, where does all this leave us? Well, the way a company chooses to motivate its people, whether it's through an app or a star performer, really reveals what it truly values. And that brings us to the final question, and it's not just for CEOs, it's for all of us. Are we building systems designed to squeeze out short-term results, or are we actually investing in people to build a team that can win for years to come? The answer to that is probably going to define the future of work.